The tech giants out there and all of the ones with, a lot of the ones in the pharma industry don't want you to get better and don't want you to feel great about yourself, because otherwise they'd run out of business.
Yeah.
Until people realize that they're not going to get the best out of themselves.
But these tech companies are making money by selling home workouts. Klinton, why do you think health and fitness industry have to merge together?
So the health and the fitness industry are currently not considered as one, but they have a fair bit of linking to be done. So what's happened is, in this world and the present time that we're in, especially post-COVID, a lot of things have changed. So a lot of the health professionals, namely doctors, physiotherapists, things like that, they haven't really fully understood. The fitness industry has evolved, I think, 5 years at a pace that is ahead of the health industry, whether it's diagnostics or regular healthcare. I think the fitness industry has made a rapid jump in the last 5 years. And the jump has been because fitness professionals are now capable of taking care of regular and general population and improving their health a lot better than they could in the past. If you wanted to look at your health and fitness as one, then you've basically got three pillars, three essentials rather. One is your musculoskeletal health, so that you don't have issues like arthritis, stuff like that, joint issues, joint aches. Second is non-exercise activities. It could be anything. It could be going for a walk, going for a stroll, playing with your dogs, playing with your kids, gardening, things like this. Very important for your health and for your fitness. And the third one being your cardiovascular health. Now, a lot of our senior citizens who generally are supposed to or are recommended to do a lot of cardiovascular training or do things that are good for their heart, namely by medical professionals who are telling them that they should be going for a walk and they should be monitoring their heart rate and things like that. A lot of our senior citizens aren't capable of going to a certain heart rate or maintaining a certain heart rate or doing exercise activities at a certain heart rate because their joints are simply not capable of doing it. They're not capable of handling that workload. So walking at a brisk pace of say 5 kilometers an hour or 6 kilometers an hour, probably not going to get your heart rate up to 60 to 80% of your maximum for 20 minutes. It's probably not going to do that unless you're walking uphill. So just in a nutshell, 60 to 80% of your maximum heart rate for 20 minutes, twice or thrice a week, is the bare minimum that you need for your cardiovascular health. And a lot of our senior citizens aren't capable at all of going to that level. And what are they recommended by their doctors to do? Do some yoga and do some walking and do some stretching. Now all that is all good, but it doesn't qualify as a cardiovascular workout. It doesn't give you the same kind of cardiovascular benefits. Is medical insurance and health insurance, is that enough? Is doing your regular checks at your diagnostics or blood test, is that enough? It's not going to give you enough information. You will probably need to do a DEXA scan. You'll probably need to run through your scans a little bit. And also the other element is that to be able to absorb the right amount of calcium into your bones or the right amount of protein, you need to put yourself through a little bit of labor, which means you need to be lifting a certain amount of weight. You need to be maintaining
very good point,
a certain amount of cardiovascular conditioning also. Now again, getting to the point where people don't consider this normal. It's just that humans have stopped doing this in the last maybe 100 years or maybe 200 years or even lesser than that. If you were a fisherman or a farmer or a construction worker or a lady in the Himachal Pradesh who's carrying lots of firewood on her back or a bucket of water through a distance, you probably wouldn't need to strengthen. But if you're not that, you need to go to the gym unless you're lifting furniture in your house. I see a lot of people trying to train at home, and a lot of these apps coming along that telling people that you can lift weights at home and you can be at your fittest at home and you don't need to go to the gyms. That's absolutely false. Humans have always done labor. they've done hard labor.
That's a very good point actually. I'm going to ask few questions on behalf of a general person who doesn't know anything about fitness. Okay, so first question is, why do I need to train for an intense cardio session if I can just go out for 20 minutes walk?
So constantly questioning about the need to do this. See, as human beings, we are made to do this. We are absolutely made to exercise, and we are at our healthiest, whether it's even mentally or physically, we are at our healthiest when we exercise and we do some labor. Now, tomorrow you could question whether we need to brush our teeth. So modern food has evolved in such a way that you need to brush your teeth. Maybe you didn't need to do it 100 or 200 years ago, but now you need to go to the gym. You can't train at home unless you have an environment where you're kind of doing labor, construction work, farming, fishermen, things like that. But if you don't have that, you need to do this. You're not obviously going to be at your mental best if you don't have that labor.
Very good point. Very good point.
Secondly, even a 20-minute walk is comfortable, but that super comfort is not good for you. What you feel is good or what you feel is comfortable is probably not the best thing for you.
I think even if we talk about life at large, we can't get the best out of it if we don't want to go through a certain amount of struggle.
Yeah, so in being comfortable in anything, you want to be very comfortable in your profession, you want to do some job that's really, really easy to do, then you're not going to make progress. You want to make progress anywhere, you have to go through that discomfort. So if you want to reap the benefits, you have to go through that discomfort. All of this discomfort is, in a nutshell, not trying to get into too many details, but it's very important for your baseline dopamine levels. If you don't have this level of labor, I'm just putting it as a term, labor is strength and cardio. If you don't have it at an optimal level, you're not going to be healthy mentally and physically. And that's just a fact. You have to deal with it. And you have to do something that makes you uncomfortable. And that means you have to go out there and train in a gym, and you have to train fairly intense. Mobility drills and all that are good. Walking, yoga, it's all good. But it's not going to compare to strength and cardio. You're not going to get the health benefits that you would get with strength and cardio.
But how intense do I need to train to reap the benefit of strength and cardio?
So I would say a regular person needs to train to, without getting into technical details. When you're strength training, you need to be able to reach an intensity of at least 50-60% minimum. On a good day, maybe you'd go up to 80%. On a bad day, you'd go to 40 to 50%. But which means that, let's say if I had a weight that I could lift and I could do 15 repetitions, I would stop at about 7 or 8 reps, and that would be 50% of my intensity. So people need to train at that intensity level, even with their cardio. A lot of people don't understand the concept that you can be out of breath, and that's absolutely okay, and you can maintain that state. So people get really uncomfortable. The moment they get out of breath, they start panicking.
Yeah.
And they feel like, okay, this is not for me, it's going to kill me and I'm going to die. Mm-hmm. But it's absolutely normal to be out of breath to just the point, let's say 60% of your maximum heart rate, without getting into too much of detail. Now, again, fitness professionals have this problem. They make things so technical, especially the ones on Instagram.
Everyone is doing this.
So they make it so technical that the regular population doesn't understand what's going on. Leave that for yourself to make it easy for general population to understand. If you have some difficulty talking, but you can still talk to yourself, you're at approximately 60% of your maximum heart rate. If you find it very uncomfortable to talk, or you're barely talking, you're at 80%. You have to keep it somewhere in between that for 20 to 30 minutes, twice or thrice a week. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Anybody who's trying to make it more complex, stay away from them. Also, let's take basic human tasks. Every human being, I think, should at least work towards being able to lift at least half his body weight or move things around. Now, people have got so many inhibitions now. People have got inhibitions where you have a 12-year-old girl who is worried about squatting deep, or is worried about moving a piece of furniture because she's worried about getting hurt. And then you have a 75-year-old woman in the Himachal in Himachal Pradesh or a place like that, this is moving firewood on a back and carrying buckets of water through a distance. That's the kind of disparity we have between city people and people who live in the wilderness. And that's how human beings actually live. This is a very unnatural life that we're living. We don't sit in, we were never meant to sit in couches and things like that. Of course, this is part of modern life. You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
But which means that you need to compensate by going to the gym and training at a certain intensity level. The other myth is that 10,000 number. Now this 10,000 steps a day is all good if you're sedentary, but it's not the only thing. There's a lot of non-exercise activity out there, and that has to be factored in. There's gardening, playing with your dog, there's so many things out there, but 10,000 steps is okay, this is all I've done, and 10,000 steps is all I need to do. I don't need to do anything else, and that's it. It doesn't work like that. It's different things for different kind of intensities for different people, but you need to put yourself through that little bit of intensity, and you need to go to the gym unless you're a farmer, fisherman, or you have some intense labor going on during your daytime. If you don't have any of these, you need to go to the gym regardless of what the tech apps are telling you that you can train at home with your 2 kg dumbbells and some elastic bands. Not gonna work.
But these tech companies are making money by selling home workouts.
Yeah, so just because someone's advertising it out there and you have celebrities and a lot of them advertising out there, it doesn't mean that it works. A lot of things that are advertised.
Okay, do you think if these tech companies start endorsing strength training or weight training, proper gym training, their revenue will go down?
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. So the tech companies want to make it seem like it's easy to train at home as long as you do what they're telling you to do at home. But it doesn't work like that. It's like you can't get a hospital type facility in your house. It's the same way. A one-on-one gym session with a trainer cannot be replaced with an online session. We try to do it. The pandemic made us go crazy a little bit. A lot of people thought we could do it. Even fitness professionals thought we could do it. In the absence of everything, yes. But if you want the best for yourself, then you need to go to the gym and you need to be around other people who are doing the same thing. You need to feed off that energy.
Yeah.
Just the way you go to work, just the way human beings are meant to be. We're not supposed to be absolutely isolated doing our stuff at home. That is a last resort, but it's not going to give you the best that you can get.
Absolutely.
If we buy health insurance, if you spend money buying the best you can get, you want the best interiors in your house, you want the best furniture, you want the best clothes for yourself, then why don't you want the best for your health?
That's a pretty interesting question.
The other side to it is that we've found, you've seen it, we've both seen it, that we see a lot of senior citizens who've got all sorts of issues trying to move, and then you run them through some tests, whether it's a DEXA scan or whether it's a regular blood test. You find that the vitamin D levels are low most of the time. Yeah. And of course with other things also. And you find that they're just not taking care of themselves the way that they should. It's just not smart. It's not smart. How would you look at your finances? It's the same way that you have to look at your health and fitness. Now that hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened at that scale. It's only the smart ones who are doing it. And why they're not doing it? Because it's not in the news and your medical professional and your doctor isn't telling you this. Because if everyone got better in a very simple way, a lot of industries would get beaten to pulp. And that's the reason the tech giants out there and all of the ones with, a lot of the ones in the pharma industry don't want you to get better and don't want you to feel great about yourself, because otherwise they'd run out of business.
Yeah.
Until people realize that they're not going to get the best out of themselves.
Pretty interesting.
It's like the other thing people talk about. People talk about how everyone's so driven. Right now, the society is kind of telling us that you need to make a lot of money. You need to have the best car for yourself. You need to have great interiors. You need to travel to the best destinations. So society is kind of ingrained that in your brain. That's what you need to do to be successful. But what does your body need? Just because everyone, your medical professional and all of the ones out there are not telling you that you need to take care of your health from the inside, it doesn't mean that it's not important. You have to take care of that for yourself. You're going to spend your whole life trying to make money and do the things that society wants you to do. And the end of it, you don't have the capacity to take care of your health. You can't go to the places you want to go to. You can't do a lot of things, and you kind of you're full of regret then. You wish you had done it much earlier.